How is career delivery different in other parts of the world?
Yes, welcome back to the We Are Career Show with Chris and Sabiha. And that is exactly the question that we are going to be looking to answer today with our fantastic guest, Raymond Ayinde. Raymond, very warm welcome to the show. Great to have you here with us. If we've got any viewers or listeners who haven't come across you before, they don't know about your work, can you tell us just a little bit more about who you are and your background in the career sector?
Thank you, Chris and Sabiha. I'm excited to join this podcast today. My name is Raymond. I'm a career development coach from Africa. And my work, I started as a research and business development, then switched into career development. Because I met someone online, Richard Nobel, who saw my post regarding dream civil writing and came in from the United States to Nigeria to meet with me and teach me the ropes of career development, connect me with other career coaches to mentor me, because he believes that I can mentor people and I can do well as a coach. Here I am today, presently as a job search advisor coach for job seekers in Africa and the Middle East, presently working with the Middle East clients, helping them to get good jobs and also helping them to land amazing opportunities in that region.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
And Raymond, for those folks, you mentioned their LinkedIn as a platform where people have been reaching out to you and connecting with you. So can people still continue to reach out to you on LinkedIn if they want to connect as a result of listening to your insights from today's podcast?
Okay, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn handle is Raymond Ayinde. Just type Raymond Ayinde. You will see a sunshine flower in front of my name. That's my brand.
It's always
So
very
look out.
Yeah.
Look out for the sunshine, folks. And by the way, folks, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, make sure that you do. We have got fantastic guests coming up for you this year in 2025. Raymond, let's start with the question we posed at the beginning of the show, which is, how is career delivery different in other parts of the world? And I'd like to bring you into this topic of what does that look like in the region that you work and that you serve in?
Thank you very much, Sabiha. Career development in Africa and the Middle East are beginning to grow bigger because look at the Saudi Vision 2030. The region is really investing in career development in that region. Now, there's a good thing happening right now, which is the birth of MENA region, career development region, which is Arab career development, and done by Ahmed Mustafa. And I think this year is going to be the top year conference. They started in 2023, 2024, now 2025, which have brought so many career professionals from Africa and from Middle East. And this has been a great change in the region, and people are beginning to see the impact of career development, and we're happy to see that. And I know that a lot of career coaches in this region are beginning to come up with innovative ideas and strategy to help the young generation. Imagine Africa and Middle East, they are going to be the youngest workforce in the world in the next 2-3 years. So we need to develop the future generation and to see what they are doing to be able to impact the whole world, and also to have value for the whole communities as well too.
Raymond, you made some excellent points there about the work that you are doing and your colleagues and how you're serving your clients. What are some of the transformations that you are seeing as a result of the work that you are doing?
Thank you, Sabiha. We've seen amazing transformations. Imagine the career week at the Arab Career Development Conference. Actually, we got over 3,000 young students that are coming to get to know who they are. I think the self-discovery session was really powerful because I can see everything on LinkedIn. I used to follow up with the Arab Career Development Conference, and we can see that the youth are beginning to have value, and they're beginning to see the future. They're beginning to be happy about what the future holds for them. Before it was not like that, but now people are very happy, and also these are helping them to see the international opportunities open up to them. And we are really going from unemployment, region to now employed region, because people are beginning to see new works that are emerging right now, looking at the fourth industrial revolution, Okay, now the youth are beginning to see the emerging jobs that are coming up now. Looking at the AI, the sustainability, and also data analyst. We see that job opportunities are beginning to spring up, and they're beginning to have understanding about how to approach the world of work. So great things are happening. People are sharing testimonials about what the career holds for them. And yesterday I was at Now University in Nigeria, and we have so many students that are testifying to the great job the career services department are doing. I remember hearing someone got a job internationally, just international jobs, which is really amazing. Thanking the career service department, which is headed by Chibuzo Azodo. And she is also doing a great work with over 4,000 students in Nile University. So they are beginning to see great transformation happening, and we hope to see more in the future.
It's such an important point, I think, about hope and optimism. It's such a key part of what we do as careers professionals. And as you said, I think being able to give that, especially to kind of young people at a time where maybe across the world there's quite a lot of cynicism, there's quite a lot of negative stuff happening that you see in the media, and particularly maybe on social media, to be able to provide that sort of sense of hope and optimism is really great to hear. And I mean, you talked about their international opportunities, and I think that's something that it would be great for us to dig into a little bit more, because I know that you're kind of currently involved in global education, travel and tours with Laddie, Mohammed Chapman, who's been on the podcast before. We've got the global exchange events. We had one recently. So at the time of this podcast coming out in the world, I think it actually took place last week. But I know that there's some other global exchange events happening later in the year as well. So can you tell us a little bit about the work that's going on with global education, travel and tours, why you think that's important, and the cultural exchange element, and I guess the global exchange events, why are these so important for connecting international careers professionals?
Wow, the great question. I recently joined GETT, Global Education, Travel and Tours, and Laddie Chapman has been doing an amazing job, and I'm glad to be working alongside with her. And GETT allows career professionals, educators, and policymakers to explore the educational system of countries like Finland, and how career support is immersed in their educational framework. We offer transformative learning, travel experience, and expedition trips that allow career professionals to see what other countries are doing, and which is really very powerful. We want to encourage global collaboration, because we know that by global collaboration, great innovation opportunities will be given birth to. And also, we want to encourage cultural exchange. We really need to know the values of other cultures, so we know how to interact with each other globally. And I recently spoke with someone from Singapore, and Kentan. He is also a career professional traveling around the world and doing great stuff. And he actually shared some culture with me, this Chinese culture, which is very understanding. I was beginning to learn how to relate more with them, which is really very powerful. And also professional networking with other people, getting them to know what they are doing. This is so powerful, and that's what we're trying to do with the Global Career Exchange coming up on the 30th of January. You can see the lineup is really very powerful. We have a lot of amazing speakers like you and Chris Webb. Like we have from the first time I listened to you was from Career Jam 2024, which is a very powerful presentation. And we have Jeremy Powell, we have Mary Zimenoff, we have Anna Koska, we have James Duncan, we have amazing people, Chibuzo, Brian. These are career coaches from different region, and they're coming to share what they're doing in their region and how their career practices is transforming where they work for. And this is really powerful to us. We want to keep encouraging collaboration. We want to keep encouraging partnership. We want to keep making sure that career professionals all around the world can connect together. And this is also why we are organizing a Finland trip. By May, we're traveling to Finland to see their educational system and how we can learn from them. We are bringing in career coaches from around the world to join us in this trip. And not only Finland alone, we are planning to visit Australia and Singapore Japan in the future, which is going to be an amazing learning experience, and also cultural exchange, and also networking opportunities for career professionals all around the world.
Yeah, sign me up. Absolutely brilliant. And I mean, particularly, I used to live in Japan, so sign me up when you get the Japan one hooked up. Very interested in that. I think great. Some really interesting stuff in there, Raymond, around like you were talking about that cultural difference, because I think we see this quite a lot sometimes in the UK, where obviously we very diverse population, particularly those who work with maybe international clients, international students, for example, and that understanding that actually what drives people's idea of career success in the West is not necessarily the same across the world. And I think, as you said, it's challenging those assumptions about the work we do as careers professionals, why understanding different people's cultures will actually make us better at what we do, and more kind of empathetic and more understanding and able to adapt our career guidance practice. So I think all of those things are just really, really interesting. And I know you mentioned that there's the event, the first Global Exchange event, which took place on the 30th of January. So if you're watching this podcast, it's kind of already happened. But I think I'm right in saying there are more to come later in the year. So you've got more of the Global Exchange events planned for 2025. Is that right?
Yes, of course. We are planning Oceania and Asia in the future. So we can have speakers from Oceania, from Asia, and also from around the world to speak about what they're doing, and also get an understanding about our career development works in different regions. So we are going to be having a series of global career exchange. So please watch out.
And speaking of, today's show is very much about global, but I want to sort of kind of really sort of challenge CPDs today around, because there will be viewers here today who are sitting, doing the work that they are doing, serving the clients that they are serving, and they may feel that this sort of whole idea of global careers doesn't really apply to the work that they do. So Raymond, what would you have to say? Why does it matter that career professionals should be invested and interested in what is happening in other career ecosystems across the globe?
Oh, thank you, Sabiha. I think this is a great question. For me, when I started my LinkedIn journey, when I started connecting with career professionals all around the world, I actually connect with people because I want to learn from them, because global learning is very important for me. I do not want to stick with what I know in my region. What if I meet someone from other regions in the future, But if I'm prepared, or if I'm aligned to what's happening in that region, then it will help me to be able to relate to that person good. And I think that we all need to have that understanding about the career development in other regions. And also, I emphasize on professional networking. You can't grow in isolation, right? So we really need to connect with people for growth to happen. Some people are not comfortable in meeting people, but I believe that great things happen when you're uncomfortable or when you move out of your comfort zone. And this is what we want to let career professionals know, that you really need to learn from other regions. You really need to know what they're doing. Of course, they can be an exchange of best practices, and which we can bring into your work. And one thing why career coaches in Africa and Middle East may not want to connect globally, I can say that is because most times they see the Western region trying to feel like, oh, they're coming to save the African and Middle East region. Like they believe that they do not have things to share. But honestly, we have a story of adaptability. We have story of resilience that needs to be at the table of discussion. So people really need to hear what we're doing and how we have been transforming lives. So if that has been put in the known, and we can advocate that, no, we're not coming to change a culture. We're not coming to tell you this is what you should do. We also want to hear your story, and we want to learn from each other, so we can all exchange ideas. And if we exchange ideas, what will happen? Great innovation come forth from this relationship.
Some great points there, Raymond. And what you're essentially encouraging professionals to do is to sort of kind of think outside the box, push themselves a little bit, because even if they aren't serving diverse populations, maybe they are only serving a small community within their region, what you can learn from other career professionals from other parts of the world will allow you to serve your own individual community in a more impactful way, which results in better outcomes for the particular clients that you are serving. And obviously, we are talking here today not just about those clients that you are serving within the educational setting. This could be clients that you are serving who are already in the workforce and who are already now looking for career development and transition, and are turning to professionals like us to guide them and support them. And as somebody who works in the international space, and I'm currently sort of, we're filming, I'm sort of kind of mindful of the fact that we are literally on 3 continents right now. All 3 of us as presenters. We've got the UK being represented, we've got Africa and the Arab nations being represented, and I'm currently sitting in Southeast Asia. So there we have it, a real sort of kind of a flavor of a global exchange of ideas taking place.
Well, I think, Raymond, you've really sort of captured, I guess, some of those kind of key benefits to, engaging with professionals from other countries. You've talked about the benefits of cultural exchange, of kind of networking, collaboration, and actually how we bring people together through, could be trips, where we're all kind of going together to experience the career sector in a particular culture or a particular country. We've got things like global exchanges where, now we can do all of this great stuff online. We can have so many more of these cultural exchanges really at the tip of our fingers. I suppose for kind of any of our viewers and listeners who are sort of watching this, they're really interested in actually, they've listened to this. They thought, actually, yeah, do you know what? I've not been doing enough collaboration with maybe careers professionals outside my own country. Where do they start? What's your kind of suggestions from your experience? Where's the best place to start for maybe someone who's thinking, this sounds great, how do I actually start building my international careers network?
Thank you. I think LinkedIn is a great platform to connect with people, other career professionals. So one connection at a time. And definitely they can actually join different webinars happening all around the world, different events, career coaches event, a lot of events, webinars are happening and coming up. So they could just sign up. Like the Global Career Exchange, which is very powerful. Like we are bringing in different speakers like this. The coming event is going to have 18 career professionals, 18 speakers. You can see how powerful that is. So getting to connect with other career coaches globally, maybe just send personalized connection with them. I would like to get to know you. I would like to get to know what's happening in your region. Oh, thank you. Can we connect? So that's just simple way to connect with people. I'm sure people are ready to hear from people. They're ready to help people, and they're ready to share information. So I think connecting with other professionals, there's no harm in connecting with people. And you can also join webinars, join events that's happening with other career coaching company organizations doing a lot of things. Also, there are NCDA in the United States, Arab Career Development Conference, the Career Development Institute in the UK. They are always hosting different gatherings, conferences, events. It's a good way to visit one someday and start to connect with other career professionals.
They're brilliant kind of tips, and I think it's actually much simpler, as you say, than a lot of people realise. I certainly know my kind of experience of collaborating with international careers professionals definitely started through just attending free webinars during COVID, and it was like as you said, organisations like CERIC in Canada, or the NCDA, or the ACDA, in the Arab nations, or CDAA in Australia, lots of acronyms, but all of those, like you said, professional bodies like the CDI that we have here in the UK, those kind of member organisations who often put on possibly webinars, training sessions for free, people can kind of interact with, gives you a sense of what's going on, a chance to maybe meet some practitioners that you can then connect with on LinkedIn. And I just remember so many kind of early conversations I had with people in New Zealand or Canada or Singapore, where as you said, you just kind of found something out that you thought, that's really interesting. It's quite similar to the challenges we have, but it's a little bit different because of maybe their context. Canada, I guess, is a good example of where their sort of work experience system in universities is very different to some other countries. So it feels kind of quite strange when you sort of hear about it. You think, oh wow, that'd be brilliant, but they have their own challenges as well, as does every kind of career system. So I think, as you've said there's lots of really simple starting points, and LinkedIn obviously is a great one to kind of mention. And that leads us, I guess, kind of really nicely sort of towards the end of the podcast, which is to ask you, Raymond, if we've got viewers or listeners that have enjoyed hearing about this and maybe want to find out a little bit more about yourself or about the work that you're doing with global education, travel and tours. Maybe they want to find out more about the global exchange events that are coming up. Where should they go? How should they get in touch?
Okay, they can visit our website, which is GETT.services, GETT.services. And also they can check us on our LinkedIn platform, which is Global Education and Travel and Tours. They can just follow us and they get to see our updates. And great thing that working behind the scene, we have Grupo, we have Aisha, we have Ruth, and we have Zeni, we have Shani, we have a lot of career coaches and educators back in GETT services and Global Education and Travel and Tours. And these are powerful people that even come with inclusion idea, because we want to include everyone in this conference, in this exchange, and also in what we do. And we want people to see that we're passionate about connecting career professionals all around the world. And we will keep on doing that. And we are already having great opportunities to connect people together. And we will surely continue to keep on, telling people what we do, and also encourage career professionals to connect with each other.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
I suspect that there are many people who are listening to this thinking, how can I convince my boss to send me to one of these conferences? Well, connect with Raymond online, and I'm sure he's got some tips for you of how you can put across. And if you are perhaps maybe self-employed, maybe you're a professional that is working in the space and you do freelance work, and you are thinking about, for 2025, how can you jump outside your comfort zone, get more inspiration? I would imagine these events are a great place to connect with like-minded professionals so that you too can expand. And maybe you're looking for new frameworks, maybe you're looking for new research, even perhaps maybe you're sitting in an academic space as a career professional and I would be curious to learn about what is happening here. I suspect that this group of individuals that Raymond and the organization that he's a part of will have some very interesting ways, as well as access to research papers that academics space could also be accessing as well. So I can see that this idea of looking at careers as not just what we do individually in our sort of kind of areas. And I think it's amazing that we do have so many amazing professionals, but how is career delivery different in other parts of the world? Have we answered that question today? Perhaps we did to some degree. I suspect that we probably left more questions in people's minds. And that's exactly what these shows are about, to spark ideas as well as encouraging you, yes, you amazing viewers, to think about the work you do from a different perspective so that you can be an even more powerful career professional. Chris, final thoughts for today as we wrap up today's show.
Well, I think we've covered them all, which is great. I think that the last thing that really is worth saying, as always, is that everything that kind of Raymond's mentioned today, so the Global Education Travel and Tours website, information about the global exchange events, and Raymond's LinkedIn profile, and various other people that you might want to connect with. All of that information we will share in the episode notes, as always, on Spotify and the description on YouTube. So keep an eye out for those. But that brings us really nicely to the end of the podcast. As always, as you noted, Sabiha, we end up with loads of questions and loads of things that we kind of want to take forward, that we will hopefully try and bring into future episodes around international careers perspective. So Raymond, you started a movement here, which is great. A massive thank you to Raymond for joining us today on the podcast. Massive thanks to all of you watching or listening to the podcast on YouTube and Spotify. And we'll see you in the career sphere next time around on We Are Careers.